Alright lads and lasses, I'm Xcentric and today we are on Forza Horizon 5 for another Forza community on Halloween. Happy Halloween everyone, if you do celebrate it. I don't. So what we've got today are B-class cars that had to weigh 1200 kilos or over. I have gone for the 92 Ford Escort, mostly because I love the Ford Escort, shush. So yeah, that was just a restriction. We're going to be doing a mixture of both tarmac races and dirt races like usual. This restriction I sort of decided in like a minute. So yeah, it might work, might not. The Escort has got about 316 horsepower and it weighs 1201 kilos. So I am 1 kilogram over the restriction, which is nice enough for me. So we'll hopefully wait and see. I've gone for the Escort mostly because A, I knew I could get pretty close to the weight, and B, I am able to do that whilst having off-road race tyres and four-wheel drive. So, you know, it's going to be definitely ideal for all of the dirt circuits that we're going to go on, all of two. I've stuck race aero on it, mostly because I didn't really see the point. I should already be good handling enough as is on just the off-road race tyres. I didn't think I'd need any more assistance, plus as well it would just absolutely axe all sort of straight line speed that I'd have, considering I am quite low in terms of power. Oop, do apologise Spiny for that one. That was not, I was hoping that little tag would not cause that big of an effect. So right, okay, lap one, I am basically having a fight between Spiny to try and get into a second place. I have pulled away a little bit from the cars further behind. There was a F-Pace that was around here. That honestly mightn't be too terrible. I'm looking for a way, trying to find a way cleanly past Spiny. I'm going to be on the inside. Pers is actually a little bit slow in whatever that car is. I can't remember actually. Is that the utility 150 Chevy? You know what? I cannot remember. Spiny's going to be up the inside though with the R32 Golf. Both of them. Oh, sorry. Both of them are actually running race aero, so that's why I'm probably able to actually keep up with them relatively nicely. Yeah, sure, they're gonna possibly have more power. Oh, Vante is actually up the inside of me, and here comes Steve with the F-Pit. Oh, I think that was actually quite a lot of desync that went on there. I was stuck on the outside of Spiny. I think that kind of pushed them forward. If that is the case, I do apologise. I was stuck on the outside of them. That's actually helped out Pers big time though, because of our huge squabbling, and it's not so good for me. I was the big loser in all of that. I'm going to be on the inside though of Spiny. Let's see, am I going to be able to get this to work? I'm going to try and leave him as much space as possible. They've understeered into the wall. I did understeer a little bit, but not as badly as them. They do have more straight line speed than me, and that is a little bit of a concern, but I do have the cornering. They've got better. Right, okay, so that's something I'm learning against that R32 Golf is through the corners I am better. Down the straight, they are better. Right, okay, so I'll try and use that to my advantage. I'm going to try and go around the outside. Oh, I attacked it with a little too much enthusiasm, but I did manage to keep it on the inside of the R32 Golf, and that's going to bring me into a 4th place. Now, let's see if I'm going to be able to actually do anything against Pers's Chevrolet. I might be far enough ahead of the Golf. I believe I am. There might try something up the inside. Might have a little bit of a sniff, but they are indeed too far back to actually do anything about it. Now what I've got to try and do is get past Pers. Oh, I do apologise for that. They were a lot slower through the corner than I was expecting, so I kind of did bump them in the back. That was pretty much a bump to pass. I will let them back past. I will. Oh, sorry. That was. I tried to get out the way and I got in the way. That's just bloody typical of me. That's absolutely remarkable. Bloody hell. Yeah, it was a little bit of a bump to pass, so I thought I would let them back through. No, okay, yeah. Yeah, unfortunately for my mistakes of and not so great driving. Oh god. Yeah, that's kind of dropped me down to 5th place. I'm not going to be able to do anything against Vante or Steve. I'll be wanting to know sort of fastest laps. I do know earlier on that I was being held up because those two cars, Pers and Spiny, are just nowhere near as good through the corners as I. They just have more straight line speed, which does cause problems for me. It does cause big problems for me, especially around this track, because this short acceleration zone is actually more than enough to cause problems if you are close enough to them. So that is a problem. I'm so much better on the brake than Pers, but I'm just a little bit too far back to do anything there. I am gonna possibly think about trying something here. It's gonna be on the outside, but then I'll be on the inside for this corner. Managed to put the nose up the inside, keep the inside line, and that is them not going to be able to do a little bit of a cheeky cutback on me out of that corner. So I'm now into a 4th place, but they are fighting back though with their superior straight line speed. I am going to force them wide though onto the outside line. They're not going to be able to hold that one off. My Escort is too good through the corners for that. Absolutely going to be way too good. Yeah, you can see the gap. I'm just managing to pull away now. Steve has actually pulled quite a healthy gap away from Vontae with the F-Pace. See, I knew that F-Pace would actually be kind of not a terrible shout. They are, as SUVs go, I'm pretty sure the F-Pace is like one of the best ones to actually pick. Along with the Porsche Macan. I think the Levante actually can work in certain scenarios. But there is that, oh my god, the closing speed of my Escort through the corners is absolutely immense. Spiny running a little bit wide. Look at that. I'm just able to do a little bit of a dive up the inside. I don't think I actually hit them. I'm not too sure. If I did, I do apologise. But if I didn't, that is a very, very cheeky 3rd place. Oh, I would have to find out if I did hit them. Because if I didn't, I would absolutely take that 3rd place. Jaguar F-Pace, yeah, it's 56.2. I do think I could be relatively competitive. Well, I was actually quite competitive with the Vontae. Yeah, F-Pace, 6.2, sort of a... I think I could be a little bit quicker. Cheers. I reckon I could be a little bit quicker there. I reckon there was a little bit of time. Alright, okay. Mace 2. 3rd time's the charm. Got everyone connected. La Selva. Hey, I'm starting at the front. Oh, and Steve's starting at the back. You know what the funny thing is that the first attempt we did this, Steve was at the front. And, yeah, now he's at the back. So, unlucky. But that F-Pace will be good round here. You know, there's a lot of water. So, and, you know, the F-Pace was very good at our handling circuit. So, really, that shouldn't have too many issues connecting. Oh, I think Spiny didn't quite get off the line there. I'm not too sure what happened. Whether the controls down just weren't ready or what. I may have been confused because we did have to try and restart this race too a few times to get everyone connected. So, there is that. The thing about my Escort is that I think it's going to have fairly consistent acceleration overall. Like, it is on off-road race tyres, so I'm going to have nice levels of grip. So I shouldn't have to brake too much. I should be able to keep up good momentum. A lot of other people here are on off-road race tyres. Pers is with the utility sedan that I'm not too sure if Vontae was. I think they were. Honestly, I can't remember. Now, there is one thing I have gone with my build, is that I'm actually not on rally suspension. I'm on maxed ride height race suspension. So yeah, of course, that is going to make me worse through the water. But it's mostly because I just wanted to have that little bit nicer handling on the tarmac. So, you know, there is that. Let's see if I'm able to get Pers. I do like taking the line on the right because it is actually shallower water. You just obviously have to be concerned about the tree that is there. That's the only concern, is if you're not careful, you don't swing it to the left quick enough, you are just going to crash into a tree. So that's the thing. But it is absolutely the quicker line. You are going through shallower water, which is definitely what I need right now. You can just see how much speed I actually do close on Pers through that section there, because that corner is just flat out for me compared to them. They are having to use, I think, a little bit of a handbrake to having to use the handbrake to get round turn what was it, 3, 4, I don't know, whatever you want to say, which was on the racing line, so I was not able to actually get past. I was hoping to probably do like a little bit of a cheeky cutback, but unfortunately that was not the case. Not taking, cut through a little bush there, you get a little bit of a jump. Steve's F-Pace is actually struggling here, which is surprising. I think they're just bogged down in traffic right now, so they're not able to actually get through the field as nicely as they wanted or predicted, shall we say. Persis went very, very wide there, clipping the rock, almost crashed into the tree there. Bloody hell, crashing into a different tree. That would have been spectacle. Oh, you know what I said about crashing into that tree? There we go. I dinked it. Thankfully, it didn't stop dead, but that will have cost me huge amounts of time. So that's not good in the slightest. Yeah, Persis is just going to keep pulling that a little bit further away from me because, well, this track favours the more speed-orientated builds, which my Escort is not. I can keep my foot flat through that turn there, through that quick left-hander, and, you know, I'm getting a little bit dash of handbrake to try and get it round turn 3 there. Did save me a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be quite enough. I think they are a little bit too far ahead at this moment in time, unless they miss a checkpoint or they hit that rock again and have a much worse outcome compared to last time. They got really lucky last time, not hitting the trees. It was very close. So, you know, there is that. Oh, I turned in way too early. The Escort's got so much grip on the dirt that I'm now taking the awkward lines. I was going a little bit wide. Yeah, they're basically minimizing the amount of risks they take, so that they don't fall. They don't fall into my clutches, which is perfectly fine to do. I'm gonna take this wide line again. There we go. That's better. It's gonna be a little bit quicker. This might be a case of my Escort is good. I think, you know, on tarmac it's nowhere near the best. But, you know, it's going to be a very solid car overall from what I can tell. I think it's definitely a handling build. You know, I'm not so much lacking straight line speed. It's nowhere near as good as a lot of other people, where my handling is better. But, you know, it's not as if I am struggling to get past, like, I don't know. Like, I'm struggling because my top speed is about 130 or something like that. You know, I think my top speed in the Escort, I think, to try and get a better launch, because the launch in this was dreadful, I think I did limit it to about 155, well, benchmark-wise, 155. I think I can still probably get it to about 160 miles an hour. But, you know, so that's actually still pretty good. It's just, it doesn't have the acceleration compared to a lot of the other cars here. It's consistent enough acceleration, so I'm not going to be completely left for dead when we get to any form of straight, and I will be able to catch that time back up when we head through the corners. Unfortunately, a few mistakes from me, and Per's just getting much better lines, and aircar being built better for here. They are going to be taking the race to victory. It's going to be a second place for me this time out. That was the third and a second. So, you know, not displeased with the Escort. That F-Pace really did struggle. I think was just so bogged down in traffic that they couldn't get through it. Well, actually saying that, they were a little bit slower. I don't know why that... I actually don't know. I actually wasn't far off Pers's Chevrolet. That's the 150 sedan. That's what it is. I was right. Yeah, I just made a few mistakes, but our cars were similarly paced in different areas. So, you know, there is that. Just the silver suited their combo. But it's another podium for me, so I'm not going to complain. Alright, race 3. A little bit more success this time, actually getting things sorted. And we're at the Arc of Moulage circuit. I'm starting at the back this time. I think I may have set it to 1 too many laps. Oh well. Yeah, starting at the back. The F-Pace is actually on rally tyres, so it actually kind of struggled through race 2 at the Selva. Yes, that was the one. With the rally tyres. Honestly, I would have thought it would have been better, even on rally tyres. I would have thought it would have performed better than it did. So that kind of... now that I know it's on rally tyres, it kind of explains why it was faster than me at the Lookout circuit. Yeah, because I do have the better launch with I think probably just a better power to weight ratio than that than the F pace, you know, because like I said, cars just over 1200 kilo. Basically, it is 1200 kilos with 316 horsepower. I think the most powerful car here was about 440 horsepower, and I think it is actually Steve with 440 horsepower. So you know there is that, but because it's on rally tyres, it's actually going to have very good handling. Let's see if we can get past. Oh, let's see if we can get past Suster. Unfortunately, I couldn't. With their BMW, I think they were. Oh, no, I didn't hit them. Steve is having actually issues over the curbs. Car guy is having issues as well. Okay, I've managed to get through lap 1. Okay, not the worst thing in the world. You know, there has been worse lap 1s. I don't know if that's a word, but it is now. Damn it, I'm coining it. Yeah, I've set it to way too many laps. Oh well. You know, it might actually make for a pretty damn good race. Right. Obviously, this is the part where my Escort is going to struggle. All of this section. Turn 1, though, I should be fine, because it should be flat out. Yeah, it is flat out for me. And obviously, through Moulage Town itself, I should be fine. A little bit of an issue through Turn 1. I think I might have a differential problem. Possibly, I'm not too sure. I'll have to see. Ooh, actually, yes, thank you, Steve. If you punch through the street furniture, that's going to allow me to catch up. Okay, that lamppost there doesn't respawn anymore. That's good. A few ones being knocked out on the outside there. Okay, I am gaining a little bit. As those lot fight, that's going to bring me into the fight a little bit more. Yeah, unfortunately, Escort is just down just that crucial bit of acceleration and power. Like, you know, yeah, sure, I gain all my time in the corners, but I was hoping that I'd just get that little bit more in terms of straight line speed. I am catching up to Steve. Yeah, so I'm quicker in the straights than Steve, but Steve, obviously, on rally tyres, not often you say that a Jaguar F-Pace outhandles a Ford Escort. But, you know, there we are. They are going to possibly try and fight back on the outside. I do have a little bit of problems with high-speed braking. However, my acceleration is proved more than good enough to get that overtake, but they are going to be able to fight back with their better tyres. They're going to be on the outside. They actually do get that position to stick. That is very well played, Steve. I will give you props for that one. They do manage to keep it on the outside line and get that position back. So now what I've got to try and do is I've got to see. The thing is that because my car is better in the speed, I kind of don't want to be compromised by them in the acceleration zones, and they don't really want to be compromised by me in the handling zones. So, you know, we're kind of not doing each other favours here. I mean, to be honest, we're not doing favours by battling each other, you know, there is that. But if we're compromising each other where we're stronger at, then that is going to cause problems. I am playing follow the leader a little bit there. Oh, my brakes were not that good through there. I think I must have a differential problem. High-speed braking does not, the Ford really does not like. Gotta try and fend off a Jaguar F-Pace again through the handling section. I'm a little bit in a better position. Not if I do that, though. They are just able to cut on the inside. God damn it. Why is that lamppost? Why is it that the lamppost on the chicane doesn't respawn, but that one does? For God's sake, just sort out your bloody street furniture, Gabe. It's bloody inconsistent and annoying. Spiny has gone very wide there. And the R32 Golf is not really battling with Pers. Pers' Chevrolet is actually doing really well at the minute. Gotta see if I'm able. I am actually catching up to Vante as well. Both me and Steve are starting to pull on that Mazda a little bit. I am stuck on the outside, but that mightn't be too big of a deal. I just had the tiniest of slides, I think, through that corner. Okay, now that I know that my braking doesn't really like that corner. There we go. That's much nicer this time. A little bit earlier on the brakes, and I'm able to fire back a little bit stronger, but it's not going to be quite enough. Vante is going to wipe out all that street furniture for me. Thank you very much. Steve is going to I don't think Steve hit that. I think it was Vante instead, but they are not able to get past that Mazda through the chicane section. I'm looking every which way to try and get a way past, but unfortunately I'm just really... Oops, I'm sort of not... I am in the battle, but not in an opportune location to actually gain an advantage from this battle, which is annoying, which is the unfortunate thing. Pers is running away with it a little bit, but not quite pulling away. Not quite running away with it all. Steve's just going to be on the defensive. Nothing I can do against the F-pace there. Going to force me on the outside for turn 1. I'm going to be able to keep it there. I am going to basically get the Escort alongside, but they are going to be better on the brakes than me. Spiny has went extremely wide. It's actually compromised Vante big time. I'm going to push Steve forward, see if I can help them get past Vante, so I may be able to gain an advantage against the RX-8 with the B. Oh, it is side by side. Spiny is all over the place. I'm on the inside of Steve. Am I going to be able to do anything here? It's going to put me still on the left-hand side. I'm going to be on the inside for this corner, out-accelerating Steve a little bit. Spiny having a little bit of controlling issues. There's going to be a gap potentially for me. Oh, I've been absolutely punted forward by Vante. I did not mean to. I don't think I hit Spiny. I'm not too sure, but I got shoved forwards there. Not much I could do on that behalf. Vante is going to have the inside line. I do get a small slide. They are out-accelerating me. They were out-accelerating me. I do apologise, Spiny, on that behalf. I did get shoved from behind. I don't know. I don't think I hit them. I don't think I did. Yeah, fastest laps were very close there between the between us lot there. Oh, the Golf does get the F-pace just at the end there. Nearly only just, but yeah, it was very close to the front. I do actually take the fastest lap. Only just take the fastest lap, but I do take it. Honestly, I'm happy with that. It's going to be another third place. Couldn't quite get the exit. I just had a small slide on the exit of the final corner, which unfortunately did cost me the second place. But I do think, you know, it was still a very, very good race. Alright, for race 4, we are at the El Pepila Scramble Circuit. Majoritively tarmac, but the dirt section here is actually very tricky at the same time. So I've got a cup of tea. So it should be an interesting challenge for Steve, because they're going to be strong at the tarmac section, but the dirt section is very technical. So it's going to be interesting. Pers as well. The Chevrolet, that's got a lot of understeer problems, but, you know, it's got plenty of power to help that vehicle out the corners anyway, so it's not too bad. The main... Oh, that's... I think my Escort should like it here. Yes, I'm not on the ideal tyres, but, you know, my Escort has proven to be very good in the corners. Where it is going to struggle, though, is the run to the line, because that is all... That is majoritively uphill for the beginning half. Then, you know, getting out the corner is all uphill. So that is not where my Escort is going to like it. So, I don't know. It should be an interesting challenge. Yeah, I can be so much. Oh, okay. I can be quicker through that corner, but not quite that quick. Ping off the walls a little bit. Don't mind me. Oops. However, yeah, I was just so much quicker in the corner, through that fast corner there than hers. And here comes Steve with the Rally-Tide F-pace, starting to find their way past Pers, if they are able to do it. Not quite. Now, this would be the interesting challenge, because, like I said, Steve, well, struggled on Mace 2, because they are on rally tyres. So, are they going to fall back a lot, or are they going to keep close enough that when we go back onto the tarmac, they are actually able to gain time and potentially overtake me and Pers? I don't know. It'll be an interesting conundrum, and one that I will be waiting to find out. So I have to see that. But Pers, the Chevrolet, is still rear-wheel drive, so I am going to have the off-roading advantage here, especially with a lot of these slower corners. I'm able to, as you'd expect with four-wheel drive, able to get out the corners easier. But there's my problem there, is that final corner. Admittedly, I did get it all wrong. But, you know, if I I have to get the final corner correct, otherwise that is going to happen. Now, it's basically a cut and copy of last time, well, of lap 1, but I think things are a little bit closer, obviously, but we're not in ghost mode, so I'm not going to be able to do the same move as I did on lap 1. I'm going to have to be a little bit more creative of finding a way past Pers. You can just see the amount of cornering speed I have, but there's nowhere to go with it. Pers is just on the apex, but they have taken a really wonky line. I'm going to be able to fire it up the inside. I clip the lamppost again, but that's basically my braking for that corner, is just clip that lamppost, and there we go. Right, I'm back in the lead, but things are a lot closer now, which is not good for me. I need Pers to be a little bit further back. They can possibly try and go for the inside of me off this corner if they like. No, I'm going to be a little bit defensive. They're going to have to try and go around the outside. It's not going to work for them. Now, I do know I'm having to use just the lightest dab of handbrake there just to get around the corner. The Escort just had a little bit of understeer troubles through there. This is where I'm going to pull away just a little bit with my superior cornering. Even though on the same tyres, you know, my Escort is better. Oh, Pers went for a huge lunge up the inside there. I don't think they were going for a huge lunge. I think they've just either missed their braking point or something. I'm not too sure, but you know, they did let me get back. They did let me get back to the lead. So you know, all is fine. I've got a much better run, but Pers is, I think, overtaking me at roughly the same point. I think, going to be able to hold them though on the outside line. Not quite. Oh, I do apologise for that little lean. I didn't mean for it to be so harsh, but I suppose it's kind of payback in a way. Wait, with even now, we'll say that. Yeah, I didn't mean for the lean. Oh, I clipped the curb there. That's not so good. That has put me all out of shape. Come on, Escort, let's recollect it. There we go. Managed to get everything back in order. Steve is now catching back up with our little fights. Yeah, that's the thing. Even though they mightn't be anywhere near, well, I say anywhere near as good. That's a little bit too harsh. On the dirt, they are not quite as good, but they are still decent on the dirt with the rally tyres. It's just where they are stronger. That was very bloody close. Where they are stronger is, of course, the tarmac, which is actually kind of working out for them, especially if me and Pers fight. I do have a little bit more of a gap this time out, so me and Pers are going to be a little bit more on a uncompromised run. So, you know, we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. I do miss my braking point, actually, but I sort of do like taking that wider line there, because it kind of, with the way the track sort of is on camber on that exit, able to get that power down a little bit nicer, able to get out of the corner a little bit better. Yeah, Pers is a lot faster than me through that final corner. Well, yeah, they are faster than me through that final corner. I think they are going to be trying to look up the inside. I'm going to park it in the middle. They're going to have to take a very compromised line if they're going to get past my Escort. I do want to steer very wide there, actually. It's a little bit of a shame. However, I think it was kind of still in Pers' path, so I'm not going to be able to do anything there. They are going to be gaining on me through here, but my Escort is better through this section. I did get that corner a little bit wrong, but we are fine, and we're going to start just eddying away from that Chevrolet sedan. I'm going to hit the lamppost for the final time. I missed it on lap 3, so have to hit on lap 4. It's becoming a tradition. A little bit of a four-wheel drift there is going to cost me a little bit of time. The issue is now, though, is that Pers is closer. So is Pers close enough to get me on the run to the line is the main question. I've got to try and pull everything out of the hat here for the Escort. Got to try now and just get as clean of runs as possible. No huge mistakes or even minor mistakes, because they can prove costly in the long run. Just got to keep ahead of that Chevrolet. See if I'm far enough ahead when the time comes. Oh, they're having a little bit of issues there. I think that pretty much has bought me a little bit of time. Oh, there we go. Managed to get that final corner much better this time out. I'm going to avoid that little bush so I don't lose a little bit of speed. Keep as much momentum up as possible. I think I am far enough ahead of Pers. Yes, I am indeed. The Escort claims victory on race 4. Bloody hell, that was a good race though, Pers. That was absolutely fantastic. Oh dear. I want a cup of tea for that one. Ooh, fastest lap goes to me as well, though that was on the final lap. Overall, I do think that Chevrolet was quicker. The F-Pace, again, not actually far off. The F-Pace did keep up nicely, being on rally tyres, only being a second down on me and Pers. But when me and Pers battled, that was definitely where that F-Pace did manage to keep, well, pace. Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, there we go. 3 podiums and 1 victory for the Escort. Let's see if I can get another podium on the final race. Alright, for the final race, we have gone to Emerald Circle. Unfortunately, Steve's Wi-Fi has cut out, so, you know, we won't be getting the F-Pace round here, which is a big shame to me. I do think the F-Pace would stand a very, very strong chance of actually winning here at the Emerald Circuit, but fortunately, that's just tough luck. It's you know, sad to see, really, but especially with Steve being that competitive on tarmac with the F-Pace, could have been a fantastic race. But unfortunately, it's the way it goes. It's going to be starting behind Pers. I'll be curious to see about this one because there's a few high-speed corners where I'm going to gain a lot of time. You know, we've got the chicane, which is basically if you've got a good line, that's flat out. And then we've got the 2 right-handers after it is, if you've got good enough handling, it might be pretty much flat out or just a small lift. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Use ghost mode to my advantage. Spiny is going to have superior straight line speed to me. It's going to be me stuck on the outside. Ah, damn. Not quite, unfortunately. Tried to make it work, but Spiny just had a little bit of understeer. And unfortunately, it's just how it is. Question is now, look, I've got to try and find a way past them. They're having a fair bit of controlling issues. Unfortunately, I'm stuck on the outside and just understeering. It's not much I can do. I'm going to be on the outside, though, for this corner. I'm going to be able to outbrake them, and that is going to be me into the 2nd place. Now, the question is, am I going to be able to chase down Pers? I had a little bit of a scruffy first lap, a little bit of a occupied first lap. However, you know, I don't think it should be too bad because I'm going to be very quick at this section here. I'm going to, you know, I might struggle at the bit in between the corners. However, because it's basically flat out for me, it's not going to be a problem. I did not think Spiny was actually going to be able to get back up on the inside there. Okay, I thought, yeah, I actually didn't think that was happening. Ah, it's fortunate. Handling's not quite so good, especially in the faster speed stuff, and I'm just stuck on the outside. But you know, they're going to drop back because of just my superior handling. I'm going to start still catching up the Pers, to be honest. Pers a very scruffy section there. I was just watching it, just having all forms of issues there. Question is, what am I going to do? That is the concern, because they have, you know, they could just park it on the apex, and around Emerald, you know, there's a few overtaking opportunities, but there isn't, where Pers is able to block and defend is kind of the stronger opportunity. So I've just got to look for maybe a small going wide, like here. I'm going to be able to park it on the inside. It is flat out for my Escort, it is not for the Chevrolet, and I'm going to be able to just scythe it up the inside. And there we go. Job is a good one. Now, am I going to be able to fend off from them? They do hit the death pebbles there. It's going to slow them down big time. I've sort of been learning a little bit more of taking that corner actually by the hotel. At least I think it's a hotel. I think I've called it a hotel again. Now it's just kind of stuck. Yeah. Sort of what I've been learning is to sort of keep it on the inside of the right-hander, and then almost tuck it, and then hang it wide on the left-hander, but then tuck it in sort of halfway through the corner. just so that I actually get a good run out of it, and I actually don't hit any of the pebbles by trying to take basically the racing line. That's what I've found work better for me. Yeah, sure, it's a little bit of a riskier line, shall we say, because I am essentially cutting across the track. I mean, to be honest, not quite so badly. But yeah, that's sort of what works best for me, is sort of keeping it nice and tight on the right-hander, so that it allows me to sort of set up better for then the left-hander, trying to avoid all the pebbles and whatnot, and still able to hit the apex nicely. Yeah, it's because it is working out big time. I'm able to pull away from Pers now. This track obviously suited my Escort a little bit nicer. Shame the F-pace isn't here. Okay, I can't quite take that corner flat out. I do have to lift a little bit. You know, yeah, I would be really curious about how the I-pace would do here. F-pace. Because with that being revitalized, it is stronger on the tarmac than me. It is stronger through the corners. So, you know, and it is Steve driving it, and Steve's a damn good driver. So, I do think the F-pace would probably either put up one hell of a fight with my Escort, or just beat it eventually. I think it's probably the latter. I think that F-pace would just be more suited to this track. It's not... Yeah, sure, there's, you know, this acceleration zone, then in between the corners, there's still a lengthy acceleration zone. But there are still fairly decently sized braking zones even, and corners where you do need good handling. So I think it would be quite close between me and Steve. But I do think that F-pace would just have the overall lap time against me, especially from doing stuff like that. But I don't know. It could have been a curious one. Could have been a really good one. However, you know, it's just unfortunate. Well, of Wi-Fi cutting out and whatnot. So it has made it a little bit more of a easier win for the Escort for race 5. Unless I missed this checkpoint here, which I don't. There we go. 2 victories for the Escort. And it was a faster lap for that lap as well. Yeah, actually felt pretty good about that lap. So, there we go. To conclude about the Ford Escort. You know what? I'm happy with it. Yeah, it got fastest lap as well by a decent margin. Yeah, Escort's damn good. The straight line acceleration I was hoping for a little bit more than what I got. You know, I was hoping that it would just have a little bit more straight line speed. However, you know, the cornering speed was actually really damn nice with the Ford Escort. The grip on the dirt as well was really damn nice. So I can't complain too much. It tried to be more of an everything build and turned out to be a handling build, but it still had good straight line speed to boot. So there we are. I'm going to call it there for video. Do hope you enjoyed. All feedback is appreciated. If you do want to join in these Forza communities, there'll be an invite link in the description. Yes, that is the description. I'm not getting confused with the comments. Yep, invite link in the description. Join that. Give yourself the Forza Horizon role, and then you will basically see how to join the Forza community. There's also my Discord, which is going to be the other. I think it's the second link in the description, in case you want to say hello to me in my Discord. However, that's it from me. Take care. Ciao for now.